Have you ever wondered why happiness always seems just out of reach? Why every moment of joy is followed by dissatisfaction? The feeling of fulfillment never lasts, no matter how much we achieve, acquire, or experience. Despite what self-help gurus and society insist, true and lasting happiness is an illusion. It is not a natural state, but a fleeting anomaly, something that vanishes the moment we become conscious of it. The pursuit of happiness, far from bringing contentment, often leads to greater frustration. The philosophy of pessimism confronts this uncomfortable truth. It argues that suffering is not an exception in life, but its fundamental condition. Arthur Schopenhauer saw existence as a cruel joke, where desire and boredom trap us in a never-ending cycle of dissatisfaction. Emil Cioran described consciousness itself as a curse, an affliction that makes suffering inescapable. Friedrich Nietzsche, though not a strict pessimist, acknowledged that life is built on struggle and deception. Blaise Pascal saw human existence as a desperate distraction from the void, while Buddha, though offering a path to liberation, first recognized life as suffering. These thinkers did not seek to comfort, but to expose reality as it is. They strip away illusions, revealing that the problem is not that we fail to achieve happiness, but that happiness itself is a mirage. The human mind is not designed for happiness. It is designed for survival. Our ancestors did not thrive by being content. They survived by staying alert, dissatisfied, and always wanting more. This evolutionary reality makes lasting happiness biologically impossible. One of the main reasons is hedonic adaptation, the tendency to return to a baseline level of satisfaction no matter what we achieve. A long-desired success, a new possession, or even a deep relationship may bring temporary joy, but soon the excitement fades. The mind adjusts, and we find ourselves wanting something else. The cycle never ends. Then there is the brain's negativity bias, a trait shaped by evolution. For early humans, failing to notice a threat meant death, while ignoring a moment of pleasure had no serious consequences. This survival mechanism remains deeply embedded in us. Our minds focus on dangers, shortcomings, and potential losses, ensuring that contentment is always fragile, always fleeting. Happiness is also sabotaged by the comparison trap. Human beings do not measure well-being in absolute terms. We evaluate it relative to others. No matter how much we achieve, if someone else has more, we feel deprived. In a world of endless comparisons, especially in the age of social media, true satisfaction is unattainable. There will always be someone wealthier, more attractive, or more successful to remind us of what we lack. Arthur Schopenhauer explained this endless dissatisfaction through his concept of the will, a blind, insatiable force that drives all human action. We desire, we pursue, we obtain, and yet the will does not rest. The moment one desire is fulfilled, another takes its place. This process ensures that no amount of success, pleasure, or achievement can ever result in lasting contentment. Our biology is not flawed, it is functioning exactly as intended, but its purpose was never to make us happy. Arthur Schopenhauer saw life as an inescapable cycle of suffering. He wrote, "Life oscillates between pain and boredom. Pain arises from unfulfilled desires, and once those desires are met, boredom sets in, driving us to seek new cravings. There is no lasting peace, only a constant struggle between wanting and dissatisfaction." For Schopenhauer, suffering is inevitable because to live is to desire, and to desire is to lack. The more one desires, the more one suffers. Even the pursuit of happiness is a cruel trick, for it only deepens our awareness of what we do not have. Wealth, love, success, each is fleeting. Each fails to provide permanent relief. The moment one hunger is satisfied, another takes its place. If Schopenhauer's view is bleak, Emil Cioran's is even darker. His radical pessimism holds that existence itself is a mistake. To be born, he argues, is the original tragedy. Unlike Schopenhauer, who believes suffering could be lessened through detachment, Cioran saw life as an absurdity that cannot be redeemed. For Cioran, the deeper you think, the more you realize how absurd happiness is. Intelligence, far from being a gift, is a curse, because it makes one painfully aware of the futility of existence. Those who think less, who do not analyze the world deeply, are often the happiest. But for those who reflect, who question, who search for meaning, the weight of existence becomes unbearable. Blaise Pascal understood this existential despair centuries earlier. He observed that human beings cannot sit still, cannot be alone with their thoughts. We fill our lives with distractions, entertainment, ambition, relationships, not out of joy, but out of fear. We chase distractions to avoid facing the emptiness of existence. Pascal believed that if a person could sit quietly in a room and do nothing, they would be forced to confront the terrifying void at the heart of life. This is why we seek constant activity, because stopping means staring into the abyss. Across these thinkers, a pattern emerges. Suffering is not an accident of life, but its fundamental nature. The pursuit of happiness, rather than freeing us, only deepens our awareness of its impossibility. The pursuit of happiness is a paradox. The harder one tries to attain it, the more elusive it becomes. Modern culture, driven by self-help ideology and consumerism, perpetuates this illusion, convincing people that happiness is a goal to be reached through success, relationships, or material wealth. Yet the more people chase it, the more they realize that happiness is not a destination, but a fleeting sensation, always slipping away the moment it seems within reach. Capitalism exploits this endless pursuit. Advertisements, self-improvement programs, and social media constantly reinforce the idea that happiness is just one purchase, one achievement, or one lifestyle change away. The result is a cycle of dissatisfaction. People are made to feel inadequate, so they will keep consuming, striving, and chasing an illusion that will never be fulfilled. Friedrich Nietzsche took a different stance on happiness, one that directly opposed modern self-help culture. He dismissed the very pursuit of happiness as a weak and meaningless goal. To Nietzsche, happiness was for the passive, for those unwilling to embrace struggle. He saw suffering, not comfort, as the path to true fulfillment. Happiness is for the weak. Struggle and suffering create meaning. For Nietzsche, the greatest individuals, philosophers, artists, revolutionaries, did not seek happiness. They sought to overcome themselves, to push beyond their limitations. He called this the will to power, a relentless drive to grow, to challenge, to create. Happiness, as commonly understood, was a distraction, a slave morality designed to keep people docile and complacent. In this view, those who obsess over happiness are trapped. They fear pain, they avoid struggle, and in doing so, they fail to realize their potential. The pursuit of happiness, far from being liberating, prevents people from achieving anything truly great. Scientific research confirms what pessimistic philosophers have long argued. Happiness is biologically constrained. Studies in psychology and neuroscience reveal that lasting happiness is largely an illusion, dictated more by genetics and brain chemistry than by external circumstances. One of the most well-supported theories in happiness research is the happiness set point theory. This theory suggests that every individual has a baseline level of happiness determined primarily by genetics. While major life events, marriage, career success, financial gain, may temporarily increase happiness, people inevitably return to their set point. Likewise, even after traumatic experiences, most individuals eventually settle back into their natural emotional range. This means that no matter how much one achieves or acquires, happiness does not permanently increase. Furthermore, the brain is not designed for sustained happiness. Evolution has shaped it to prioritize survival, not contentment. This is why we have a negativity bias, a cognitive tendency to focus on threats, dangers, and negative experiences rather than positive ones. From an evolutionary standpoint, remembering pain is far more useful than remembering pleasure. A moment of joy has no survival value, but a single painful experience can teach avoidance of danger. This is why negative emotions, fear, anxiety, and sadness carry more weight in human consciousness than fleeting moments of happiness. Dopamine, the brain's primary reward chemical, also plays a crucial role in why people remain unsatisfied. The modern world exploits the dopamine system through constant stimulation and instant gratification. Social media, advertising, video games, and consumerism all hijack the brain's reward system, creating an endless cycle of seeking pleasure without fulfillment. The more dopamine one gets, the more the brain craves, leading to compulsive behaviors that rarely result in long-term happiness. In essence, neuroscience validates pessimism. Happiness is neither a natural nor sustainable state. It is an illusion the brain manufactures in brief bursts, only to pull it away just as quickly. The mind is wired not for peace, but for perpetual restlessness. If happiness is an illusion, then what remains? Should one abandon all hope, or is there a deeper purpose beyond the fleeting pursuit of joy? Pessimistic thinkers have proposed alternative paths, not to happiness, but to something more enduring. Schopenhauer believed that the key to escaping suffering was detachment. He argued that human life is driven by the relentless will, an insatiable force that compels endless striving and suffering. The solution? Withdraw from desires. Schopenhauer found solace in art, philosophy, and asceticism, believing that losing oneself in beauty or intellectual contemplation offered brief respite from life's torment. Nietzsche, on the other hand, rejected the idea of detachment. To him, suffering was not something to be escaped, but embraced. He saw the pursuit of happiness as a weak, passive goal, a distraction from what truly matters: struggle and self-overcoming. Instead of chasing contentment, Nietzsche urged individuals to create their own meaning through ambition, hardship, and the will to power. He believed that true fulfillment came not from avoiding pain, but from using it as fuel for growth. The Buddhist perspective offers another view. Unlike Schopenhauer's passive renunciation or Nietzsche's active struggle, Buddhism teaches acceptance. Suffering, according to Buddhist philosophy, is an inherent part of existence. The mistake is not in suffering itself, but in resisting it. By practicing mindfulness and detachment from desires, one can achieve a state of inner peace, not through happiness, but through liberation from the craving that causes suffering in the first place. In the end, these perspectives converge on a single truth: happiness is not the ultimate goal of life. Seeking it directly leads only to frustration. Instead, meaning can be found in creation, struggle, detachment, or acceptance. Approaches that acknowledge suffering rather than deny it. Ironically, it is in abandoning the pursuit of happiness that one may find something far more profound. What if happiness was never the goal? What if we've been chasing an illusion, led astray by societal expectations and the promises of self-help gurus? Perhaps the key to life isn't the pursuit of happiness, but learning to exist in spite of suffering. In embracing life's tragic nature, we can free ourselves from the constant frustration of trying to attain something that may be biologically and philosophically impossible. Suffering is inherent in the human condition, and by accepting it, we open the door to a more profound understanding of existence. The greatest thinkers, Schopenhauer, Nietzsche, Cioran, Buddha, didn't shy away from life's inherent darkness. They didn't suggest that happiness was the ultimate goal, but that meaning could be found in our ability to engage with the struggle of life. In that struggle, we shape ourselves, create purpose, and transcend the fleeting desires that keep us in perpetual dissatisfaction. Happiness is impossible, but meaning is not. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. By accepting the inevitability of suffering and learning to live with it, not in spite of it, we can discover a deeper, more enduring sense of purpose. After all, the most fulfilling lives are often not those spent seeking joy, but those spent embracing life in all its complexity, contradictions, and fleeting moments of meaning. If this video made you question your beliefs, leave a comment below. Let's have a real discussion. I'd love to hear your thoughts on happiness, meaning, and the human condition.